Hi everyone, Nick of Lambert Tech Talks, and today we're talking about internet speed. So I live in a rural area in Central California. It's a small town outside of Yosemite National Park, which is an absolutely beautiful place to live. I grew up here. I love it here. My wife and I are building a house here. It's great. The only downside to living in a rural area like this is our internet speeds are terrible. I mean, like, so bad. I have flashbacks of like dial-up. It's terrible. It's not much better. What we only have one ISP in our entire county that really works. There is a few other ones that are kind of emerging, but they're very limited in their abilities. But the ISP that we currently have is all DSL, except a few select areas, you know, those privileged folks, have fiber optic lines. Still, speeds are not great with their fiber optic lines, but they are better than the DSL. So at my house, we're currently located 7,000 feet from the DSL junction box. And for those that aren't familiar with DSL, typically 7,000 feet is about the max that DSL internet can communicate across copper, which is the line they bury underground for it. So our internet speed is not just bad, it is real bad. But there is, if you are in the same situation that I am, there are a few things you can do in your home, on your home network, that may help improve things a little bit. The first and foremost thing is contact your ISP and see if they can offer you a higher package. Ours offers 3 different levels. Unfortunately, because of our distance from the junction box, they can only offer us the lowest level, which gives us 8 megabits of download speed and 800 kilobits or 0.8 megabits of upload speed, which you're all probably laughing now because that sounds like the speeds you got in 1998.
I'll have to ask my accountant about that.
But that's what we have. We live with it. We improvise. I'll talk about that in a minute. But the other thing you can do if they're not able to upgrade your plan is you can ask them if they can do a bonded line. Now, a bonded line configuration only works with a DSL line. And basically what that does is it takes 2 of the pairs, because you have 8 pairs in a set of cables. It takes 2 of those pairs and it puts 2 incoming DSL lines into one router, basically giving you double the speed. The issue with that, though, is with a bonded DSL line, those 2 lines have to be balanced, and if your area is not able to get balanced lines, it won't work. I tried that myself. They aren't able to offer it in my area, but that may be an option for you. Issue you may run into is one that I've run into, is the router that the ISP provides is not very good. It's good in its modem function, but it's not very good in its router function. For those of you not familiar, basically the modem function is what turns that incoming DSL phone line into internet. The router function is what assigns your individual devices that are assigned to it their amount of bandwidth or internet that they're able to use, along with their individual IP addresses and things like that. So what I've done to remedy that is I've actually purchased an additional router. It's an Asus gaming router. I forgot to mention, I'll also put a link to the router that I purchased, the Asus gaming router, down below. So if you'd like to check that out, it's an older model, so it may be kind of hard to find, but I'll hunt it down for you, do the legwork, you check it out and let me know what you think. And I've configured it in a bridge configuration, which what a bridge configuration is and how that's different than an access point configuration is basically you're taking away the ISP's router function from their router, just making it a modem, and you're now using your router to handle the router functions. While this doesn't actually make your incoming line any faster, it does improve the allocations between your devices on your network. So if you've had issues with when somebody's streaming Netflix, for example, and you're trying to online game and your online game suddenly increases in its amount of lag that it has, this will be caused by sometimes by the router not being able to handle that traffic as well as some of these high-end gaming routers are able to. So you kind of have to think of your incoming internet line as a garden hose. So if you're unable to make that garden hose any bigger, you just need to make it more efficiently disperse that water across your individual devices. And that's what bridging in a different router does. An access point configuration is what I talked about earlier, basically just sets up 2 wireless networks in your home. So you would have your ISP broadcasting its router's network, and then you would also have your access point broadcasting its own network. So the disadvantage to that is now you have two home networks, and it's just kind of messy in terms of security. If you don't have security on them, if they're named the same, they configure with one another. So I typically wouldn't suggest that. The only situation I would is if you had a very large home and you're having issues with connectivity on one side of your home. Then there's several options at that point. There's mesh networks, access points, but we'll go into that in another video. This one we're sticking to internet speeds. One thing that I'm personally really waiting for in our rural community is Starlink. I hope that you guys are familiar with that, and if not, Elon Musk, who also owns companies such as Tesla, Hyperloop, and the Boring Company, has started a company called Starlink, which is broadband, low-orbit satellite internet. Basically what he's doing is he's currently in the stages of launching satellites that are in a lower orbit than normal satellites around the Earth, and it provides really fast internet to rural areas. So where we are in California, I think we're still several months out before the beta test is available here. As far as I know, the closest place to us that it's available is Northern Oregon. And in those tests, people are experiencing speeds, and remember our speeds here are 8 megabit download, 800 kilobit upload, or 0.8 megabit upload. Starlink is experiencing 150 megabits download over 50 megabits upload, which, as you can tell, is 100 times, no, it's not 100 times. It's a lot better than ours. I can't do math. It's okay, it happens. But anyway, it's going to be an amazing asset to our community, and I think a lot of other rural communities. The system currently for the beta testing for the actual satellite dish that you have to have in your yard runs about $500, I believe it is, and then the actual subscription for the internet service is $100 a month. Our personal ISP bill right now, which requires us to have a landline telephone, runs right about $100 as well. So I mean, as you can see, it's a no-brainer. Get almost 10 times the speed for the same price. Why wouldn't you? The only issue with this, though, is it is a beta test program. So it's probably going to take a little while until it's perfect. So you might have to prepare yourself for downtime, speed issues, and outages. So keep that in mind, but definitely look into it. It can be found, I'll put a link below for the Starlink website. I'll also put a link below to how you can sign up to become a beta tester when Starlink's available in your area. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you have any other questions or concerns, or you just love me and want to like the video, you can do that too. Thank you for sticking with us. We'll bring more great content to you, and stay tuned.